Hello and welcome back to Scarworld Season 2, Episode 6. Today we are going to leave this area behind. It has bad memories associated with it, as you saw in the clip just now. But the area has been cleaned up quite a bit. The redstone has been buried, lighting is done. This is all we're going to see of this episode. So I figured I'd show you one more improvement to it before I depart, other than cute little jelly here who's protecting me from creepers, though none of them should spawn anymore. But I made one small change, and that is when I get in the way of the guy on the way back. When I send a villager back to the system, a block now sticks out in the way, and it stays out for about a minute and a half, I think. Something to that effect. It's enough time for me to call multiple villagers and send them back so I don't keep getting the same one over and over again. It's just a little system to help get to a different type of villager a little bit more easily. But that's the only thing I wanted to go over on this one, that this side does the same thing. But that's it for here. So let's get to today's episode, where we start working in the creative build area. Alright, so today I'm going to start filling in some parts of the swamp in the creative area. Maybe a lot of the swamp? I'm not really sure. I'm going to play it by ear. But I have collected up a fair amount of dirt for doing so. So I think I can make a pretty good dent in it. Maybe I'll take a couple of shulkers of stone as well. I don't think I really need anything fancy with me because I'm just going to fill in some holes, smooth it over. Ultimately, I'm going to need to landscape it out a lot so that I can begin to decide on how the path is going to lay out for the build, as well as start laying out the structures and whatnot. But we have to start at the beginning by smoothing out the land. And I can make it there on one rocket. Just don't clip the trees. Haha. Alright. Okay, so this is a lot to do. I expect it to be a time lapse. Yeah, see, a lot of this needs to be filled in, and I do have some plans for subterranean redstone at some point, so I can't really just cap over this. I need to actually fill it in. So I think I'll start by kind of going down the middle. I don't mind having swamps on the sides, and just kind of play it by ear. Alright, and begin time lapse. Alright, so that's 5 shulkers full of dirt, or worth of dirt, that have been placed. These 4 in this one. Fairly early on, I came up to a couple of decisions. First off, I kind of needed to know where the trail was going to be, the kind of meandering path, which I'm tentatively thinking is going to be this. It's going to be a little crossroads. So I feel like the main path is going to start from the Dwarven district, my neighbors here, and come to a fork, and then there will be some things down this way, and more things along this way, and path and things on either side. And then this primary area here will be kind of the main build, or the highest populated build, biggest cluster of active buildings. That was the first kind of decision I made when I started placing dirt, which is why I didn't fill everything in just willy-nilly. Then after I had the path, I decided, this is going to be where lots of the building is going to happen. But I looked back and I saw all that dirt, not grass, but dirt. And it was really kind of a stark reminder of how much non-grass dirt I'm placing and how much potentially non-grass land I'm going to want. So right now we don't have any mycelium on the server, but that will change, I believe, in the relatively near future. Alright. I got some good news. We had a border expansion. So just as I was finishing all this up, you can see the grass hasn't even grown in. The world expanded, and I got me some stuff. I got me some sponges. Now I did record my quest to acquire sponges, but it would have been an entire episode of me being lost inside a monument trying to find my way to the top. While I'm sure that it would have been quite comical, it would not have been entertaining. So this is just the very quick clip of my acquisitions. And I got me some mycelium. Alright. So we can actually start doing some things. So I know that I think this is going to be a good area. So let's give this mycelium a little bit of time to grow. And I'm going to get to sponging. Oh man, I have not used sponges in such a long time. So I know that there's a system to this. I'm not sure what it is, other than breaking up enough so that it can't reform, I guess. So this might be a colossal fail. But we'll see. This is how we learn, right? Gotta do. Do to learn. That is a pretty good area. Wow. I guess I didn't have to put them on the top level. These punches are so cool. Alright. Well, I consider that successful. Yeah, that was faster. I mean, I'll still have to go over the top, and I also don't think that there's a faster way of, picking these up. This is saying no matter what tool I use. That felt a little faster, but I don't think it is. Nah, it's the same no matter what I use. It's probably one of those weird things like the hoe is the proper thing for it. I didn't really pay attention to the spacing of my glowstone down here. I might make an unintentional mob farm. That's okay. If I hear things spawning, I can come down here and light things up. And I'm using glowstone because it's easier for me to get... Oops. It's easier for me to get glowstone than it is for me to make torches. Well, I mean, I guess that's not entirely true, right? You can get giant batches of torches from a stack of coal, but I still can get this in pretty high volume. Easily. And I can save the coal for other things. Like when I want to smelt a bunch of stuff and I don't have a ton of bamboo. But this is really nice. It's nice not filling everything in, not having to, and it's nice knowing that I have this area under here that if I do need to build something underground, I'm not going to have to dig back out. So I think sponges are going to win the day. Also, there is not going to be a third-person time-lapse for my doing this because I just realized I forgot to start recording it. Thought just crossed my mind. I never started replay mod. I mean, that's fine. You guys are probably tired of my third-person time lapses. You know, I am genuinely curious about people's opinion on things like time lapses. Do they get tired of seeing them? Do they feel like it's a laziness? You know, where you don't have to really talk a lot during them. Or do they just... I mean, do you want to hear more talking while, you know, this kind of thing is going on, where you see less progress? Or do you want to see, you know, finished products? Because, I mean, there's valid points to either side. We all know what a flat piece of land full of mycelium looks like. You don't really need to watch somebody placing dirt. But on the other hand, it's kind of nice to connect, you know, to talk, communicate. I mean, I realize it's not a two-way communication, right? I can't hear you guys. But you can leave comments. And those comments will be undoubtedly linked to the video that you watched. And so it does kind of facilitate interaction. Alrighty. So I think that you've listened to me ramble enough, and I think that we need to move on. Let the mycelium spread, and maybe start laying out some turf for our building. Alright. I keep saying alright, and then I keep placing blocks. I can't help myself. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is make some of this, and I'm guessing cracked brick is a smelting. Let's just do a few real quick to see if that's a thing. Why is only one side? Did it not fuel up? Oh, I accidentally clicked that wrong. Silly me. No fuel got in there. Alright, so didn't I put 10 in there? Oh, the other 5 would go over here. Right. Silly me. But this came out cracked. That's what I wanted. So this is good. I have plenty of regular stone, so I can... Oops. Well, now I really have plenty. Okay, so the general idea is going to be that the house foundations or general structure is going to be acacia logs. As such. And we'll have, so we want the aging effect. All right, these things are getting old. But let's just look at kind of what we're talking about stylistically. I already want to widen it. It's not enough face to vary the stone that much. So the other thing I'm wondering is what makes more sense. Come on, guys, give us some daylight. Oh, oh, hello there. Never turn down some free slime. $18, not bad. Oh, and some free rockets. Rocket in Potentia. And I've always been a proponent of moss or overgrowth clustering. You know, instead of just one mossy block here and there, we have the plant is, winding its way across the surface. I am really missing that jump boost. I ain't gonna lie. And so we end up with a rundown wall like this. We throw in some vines. So we can end up with I don't know, something like this. It's going to take some more blending. You see how the stark difference of the black stone is mitigated by the vines. And we wouldn't want to do it all the time. And there's the potential to do areas that are concentrated in black stone. And I think that we can work out a weathering effect to where, the idea being that the entire building was originally black stone, but it's faded and overgrown and cracked. Kind of like that. Maybe even do... So of course there is the problem with vines being able to spread on their own. Oops, that was a mistake. But I think we can kind of get away with it. So I think this is, I'm going to play with this kind of palette, and isn't going to define the entire area, but we can have buildings like this that are really aged and fading, and then we'll have buildings that are probably still purely black stone. All right, well, let me work on this some more and see if we can get some a little more organic, a little more aged. But this is a good start. Okay, well, it looks like that's about all the time we have for today. We got a lot done. The area has been prepared for future expansion, both with the road and with all this mycelium that I now have available to me thanks to the border expansion. And we got a little prototype structure here that I think is going to be turned into ruins as opposed to the actual structures. I've got some other plans that have come about as a result of this test. So next episode we'll get into other buildings that we can do for this area and just kind of see where things take us. But that's really all the time we have for today, as long as we don't want this episode to be 2 hours long. So thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. And I hope to see you guys on the next episode.